5:15. Here we go. Okay, we are here. Mount Nebo, here we come. Looks a little intimidating from here, but I think it's gonna be fun. Mount Nebo is the tallest peak in the Wasatch Mountains here in Utah. It sits at 11,928 feet. It's a challenging hike that has a ton of 5-star reviews, although that is not the rating I would give it. Hi! The beginning of the trail was so beautiful. Rolling hills, bright green mountainsides, and tons of wildflowers and butterflies. Can you see this massive hill before me? Oh, it looks so steep. Here we go. It was so lush, and the beauty made the steep section through here a little easier. This is where you really start to get a sense of what you're in for. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love the look of that. Because it looks like we need to go down quite a bit and then back up another steep section. Energy chews. I am loving these right now. It's like candy. Want one? I think that's the trail, like up there. And I do not like really exposed hikes anymore. It seems like the older I get, the more uncomfortable I am. And I knew that this was going to be like a challenging, very exposed hike, but that does not look fun to me. So, oh, my ear just popped. We're at 10,600. The peak is at 11,900-ish. So, that's all I have to say. Ugh. All right, well, so I think we're going up here. Oh man, my legs are burning. It doesn't help that I started this hike with sore legs from a workout I did 2 days ago. Not smart. Whew. As I suspected, it's really not as scary as it looks. It's just so steep. Look at this cool little crystal I just saw glistening in the sun. How cool is that? We're almost at Wolf Pass, which is this is like one of the big climbs. And there's a bit of a saddle there, and then one more massive climb that I think is very similar to this. So, am I having fun? No. At this point, this is not blissful, but I'm gonna feel really good when I get to the top, I'm sure. Hopefully. Behind me is the final climb to the summit. It looks rough. I'm gonna do it. Here we go. The final section of the hike was the toughest, with about 13,000 feet gained in 3/4 of a mile, scrambling up loose shale and really exposed terrain. We're so close. I'm definitely uncomfortable, but it's definitely out of my comfort zone, but it's doable. I'm not like panicking or anything. I'm ready to get to the top. Said that a million times, but this is just so slow. Woo! Wow. That was intense. And I'm so hungry. Let's have a snack. Got lots of dried fruit, dried mango, dates, and a couple jerky sticks. This salmon smoked maple strip. Looks kind of cool. I'm hungry. Got some electrolytes. Oh wow, they're like puffed up. That was intense. I have to say I am dreading the hike down. Like that is going to suck, probably. I don't think I've ever had one of these, I don't think. A little dry.
The hike down required a lot of focus, especially at the very top. And by the time we got down this hill, my knees were really starting to hurt, and I was happy to have the steep, slippery, exposed section of the hike done.
All right, we are down at one of the little saddles for just a break. We kind of have gone down the steep part of the hike and we just have somewhat mellow up and down the rest of the way. But I'm just gonna be honest with you, that was not that fun. And I, thinking back, don't know really why I even decided to do this type of hike. I didn't really get anything out of like that thrill of like a really exposed, rocky, like scary type of hike. It was overall like kind of what I was expecting. Like going up, I think was a little bit more unnerving than coming down. Coming down was actually fine. But we got to the top and we spent like a couple minutes there. So knowing that we had a very like rocky, exposed, slippery downhill, just kind of, I don't know, I just couldn't really relax and enjoy it. And it really wasn't even all that amazing of like a peak hike. It really wasn't anything that we couldn't see, now at this part of the hike. So I wouldn't recommend that hike. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't really get much of a thrill or a joy out of doing these intense peak hikes. I think in my early 20s, I really was kind of more into that stuff. But now that I've gotten older, I just don't care to like peak every mountain and do like a bunch of 14ers and all this stuff. I like a good challenging hike for sure. But this ended up just being a little bit more stressful, and we got to the point where it wasn't fun. Like it was so mentally taxing because you really have to like every single step is your foot gonna slide? Or you know, if you trip and you fall down a mountainside, like there's just a lot of things that make it mentally taxing, and it ended up just not being super fun. So there's that, but the rest of the hike is going to be really enjoyable. And this does bring me to something that I think about a lot, and I kind of tell myself a lot, is it matters more what you notice, not how far you go. And I think I want to say this is like somewhat of a line from a poem I read at some point, but I tell myself that a lot. Like, it doesn't really matter how far you go. It matters more what you notice. And I really try on my hikes and my time outdoors, like I enjoy slowing down and maybe not hiking as far, but noticing more of the wildflowers. And I saw a little ladybug on a rock today, and just all these little beautiful, incredible details of nature that sometimes you miss when you're just like, I gotta get to this peak, and like doing these intense hikes where you're like on a time crunch. I think you kind of miss some of those details, and I get so much joy out of just hiking a mellow trail down there and bringing my binoculars and looking at the mountainside. I would have had probably a little bit more of an enjoyable hike. So yeah, that's kind of the update. It was a little bit stressful. I'm definitely glad we're done, and I would not do it again. I guess it's kind of cool that we've been to the highest point in these mountains where we live and that we love, but yeah, not my favorite hike. Snow in summer. Look at this. Look how tall they are. Almost as tall as me. This is fireweed, and it's one of my favorite wildflowers. It doesn't smell super strong, but they are pretty. Look at the size of this thing. You could count all these tree rings. We're back. We're done. Thank goodness.
What's your one word for that hike? Mine's regret.
Yeah. Just so tired.